Chapter 6. The shuttle cabin was heating up along with the cargo hold. In a few minutes, it would be warm enough to take off their helmets again. That would be a welcome change. She wanted her squad to rest, consume some protein, and get ready for a long stay in this shuttle and a quick exit to the rescue party. If there is one, you mean, she thought to herself. It took a moment, but her block finally connected to the shuttle's comms. The craft's antenna appeared to be undamaged, but that didn't mean it was going to properly boost the signal to S&R Black. Crossing her gloved fingers, she dialed in the frequency for S&R's encrypted comms and initiated a connection. S&R Black, this is Corporal Calimora, over. Nothing. She tapped her foot impatiently on the floor while she repeated the message. 5 attempts, and still nothing. Mira shuddered again. Black had no doubt fired another thruster salvo. So far, at least 3 thruster packs had been activated. That left plenty more to fire, and there was no telling if Black would fire the same thruster packs more than once. In short, it was impossible to know how many more of those quakes they had in store. Think, damn it, she told herself. Black had said there was some sort of interference keeping them from talking over the radios, leaving block-to-block communication as the only possibility. Mira was ancient. Technology had moved so far and so fast in the last 50 years, she'd been surprised her block had even connected to the shuttle's computer. But using a block connection to its antenna? She didn't even know if that would be possible. Callie connected to the computer this time rather than a communications array. The connection was painfully slow, but her HUD gradually lit up with a menu of options. First, she chose diagnostics, which she probably should have tried in the first place. Engines, green. Fuel cells, red. Backup power, 113 standard minutes. Hull integrity, 100%. Oxygen, 72 standard minutes. She read the numbers and frowned. They had 112 now, standard minutes of emergency power reserves. The shuttle's fuel cells were empty. Without any fuel, it was impossible to know if the engines would even start, let alone take a crew anywhere. They had enough O2 to hide out here for another 72 standard minutes. After that, they'd have to switch to their suits permanently and survive between trips to the refill stations. But she didn't think that was going to be an option. The shuttle bay's hull integrity had obviously been compromised long before their skiff ruptured the aft plates. That meant the deck plates might be brittle, like the ones they'd found on the bow and Mira's belly. Depending on what happened during the additional stabilization burns, they might have to relocate. Considering the existing damage, the thruster packs she and her squad had placed just over an hour ago might come straight through the deck plates. Callie had 2 problems she needed to solve ASAP. Getting her squad to a safe area and finding a way to communicate with S&R Black. The shuttle was safe, for now. But once they ran out of power and O2, it would be little more than a metal coffin. You forgot your other problem, she told herself, which is how you're going to deal with Elliot. The Marine's suit was barely holding together. He was still unconscious, and his block reports weren't looking good. They could boost him with another nanny shot, but there was no guarantee it would do more than spin up his organs to an unsafe level. Then again, she might have to risk it. If she didn't, he might die anyway. Between the blood loss, the momentary exposure to near absolute zero, and vacuum, the damage to his dermis had to be severe. When she'd opened his suit for the nanny injection, she'd seen the signs of 3rd-degree frostbite. The skin in those spots was dead and would soon begin to rot. The nannies would do their best to detach and clean the areas, but if he had significant internal injuries, they wouldn't even bother. So while they worked on his brain, his heart, his lungs, and whatever else might be damaged, a life-threatening infection was almost a certainty. If I had some fucking schematics, she said to herself, we could try and get an autodock powered up. Right, if only. First things first, she said aloud. Let's see if I can use you, you ancient piece of shit. Callie flipped through the shuttle's menus looking for its interfaces. As she began scrolling through the list, the shuttle bounced up and down. Crystals of bloody ice, left over from the dead pilot, floated near the control panels on their way to the ceiling, but she didn't notice. When she found the list of neural interfaces, she bit her lip. The shuttle did have pilot and co-pilot block interfaces, but one or both appeared damaged. Of course they are, she said to herself. Dickerson, she said over the suit comms, what have we got?
Well, Corporal, the exact same shit it said in the skiff inventory. Everything looks good.
She checked her block. Sure enough, the skiff's inventory had the contents in the locker. She rolled her eyes, shocked he hadn't sounded more sarcastic. Point taken, she said. 4 nanny injectors.
That's right, Corporal. The temperature back here just hit above freezing.
Good. Connect to Elliot's block. I want to know how he's doing. Dickerson paused for a moment before he spoke. When he finally did, there was an edge to his voice she hadn't heard before. If she didn't know better, she'd say he was on the verge of crying.
Bad shape, Corporal. I don't think his heart weathered the shock too well. The nannies are keeping him pumping, but we have got to find a fucking autodoc if we're going to keep him alive.
Hit him with another injector. That should still leave us with the 4 from the locker. If we go exploring, I've a feeling we'll find more of them, she said.
Ah.
Dickerson said.
Hey, boss.
Carbonaro said.
Any luck in the comms?
Not yet, Carb. Going to try something in a minute.
Aye, boss.
She waited for either Marine to ask more questions, but they didn't. Both Carbonaro and Dickerson were probably opening Elliot's suit so they could hit him with another injection. Hopefully, that would keep them busy. Refocusing on the neural interfaces, she activated the co-pilot side and sent a connection request. Her HUD lit with a new set of options. When she found the nonverbal communication menu, she quickly selected it and tied into it. Without a working computer on the other end of the connection, it felt as though she'd suddenly opened a part of her mind to the vacuum outside. A dark space she couldn't really explain sat at the edge of her thoughts. She gritted her teeth and sent an image of S&R Black at the empty space in her mind. Nothing happened. She concentrated harder, sending the image over and over again into the void. Her head hurt. The concussion made focusing difficult and damn near painful, but she struggled to hold the image intact. It started to slip from her when the emptiness filled with a presence.
Corporal,
Black said.
where are you?
Kelly's pursed lips turned into a grin. Black! We're in Mira's shuttle bay. We need an extraction, ASAP.
What is your status?
Elliot is going to die if we don't get an extraction right now. She managed to keep the thoughts from coming out in a scream, but it was a near thing. Black said nothing for a moment. The silence lasted so long she thought the connection had been broken.
An extraction is not possible at this time,
The AI said. What do you mean it's not possible? Explain, quickly.
Mira is still stabilizing.
Black said.
Until we have finished firing all thruster packs, it will be impossible to perform an extraction. In addition, the stabilization process has resulted in more debris breaking loose. Further complicating your situation, an incoming KBO has made it necessary to tow Mira.
God damn it, Kelly thought to the AI. Connect me to someone in the command crew, now.
That is not possible at this time,
Black said.
The interference.
Fuck the interference, she mentally screamed at the presence. Give me someone. Black paused.
Corporal, please remain calm. The trio sent me an updated file with interior schematics. It will take a few moments to appear on your block. Our connection is very slow. Are you using an amplifier?
We're in a disabled shuttle, she thought. I'm interfaced through one of its remaining neural connections. She felt Black grin, and her skin prickled with goose flesh. She suddenly didn't trust the AI. Not one bit.
Corporal, I'm showing extensive damage to the shuttle bay. The thruster packs may have punctured another deck plate in your area. I suggest you lead your squad away from there as soon as possible.
Kelly blinked. Leave? Now? And go where? Her HUD glowed with an incoming data stream. Black was indeed sending her a new file. We have her equipment from the skiff, but the medkit isn't going to do shit for Elliot. He is going to die. Do you understand?
Yes, Corporal,
The AI said, its voice devoid of emotion.
I have marked Mira's emergency autodock installations as well as the medical bay. I suggest your squad make its way inside the ship and to those areas.
I can't save him. I don't have any fucking power. Black seemed to sigh in her mind. The sensation was even worse than feeling its smile.
The schematics contain information for emergency power generators as well as a list of all oxygen refill stations. Depending on Lance Corporal Elliot's condition, Your squad should be able to evacuate him to a safe zone.
Her HUD flashed. The download was at 50%. If we go inside Mira, we won't be able to communicate with you. Worse, an extraction team won't be able to find us.
That is a risk, Corporal.
Black said.
However, there are multiple communication arrays within Mira. It is very likely you will find ways to boost your signal to reach me.
Black paused.
If not, the command crew.
What is the source of the interference? Kelly asked.
Unknown at this time.
Black said.
Lieutenant Noble and I are working to solve the problem.
The shuttle shuddered again, its bulkheads rattling as if from a quake. Her body tried to leap out of the chair, but the magnetics kept her in place. Something crashed against the shuttle's hull, and metal debris splashed across the shuttered canopy window.
One of the thrusters has punctured the deck plates above you,
Black said.
I suggest you move with all haste, Corporal.
80% downloaded. She switched over to comms. Dickerson, you got him stabilized?
Hit him with another injector, Corporal.
Good. Get him back in his suit. We are leaving in 2 minutes. Dickerson paused before he replied.
Aye, Corporal. On it.
Black, why did the trio hold back the schematics? She felt the AI grin again.
I do not have the answer to that question.
Bullshit, she said aloud. She wasn't sure if she hid the thought from the AI. In fact, she was sure she hadn't. Do I now have all the updates?
As soon as the file finishes downloading, you will have everything I'm able to give you at this time.
What the fuck does that mean? She said aloud.
You now have the file,
Black said. She checked her HUD. Black was right. She had finally finished downloading it.
I must stress that you need to escape from the shuttle bay as soon as possible.
Any last recommendations? Black paused.
Do not come in contact with exosolar material. It may be extremely hazardous.
No shit, she said aloud. Tell the command crew I'll check in as soon as I can.
Good luck, Corporal.
The presence disappeared from her mind, leaving her staring at her HUD. She leaned back in the chair. They just got the goddamn shuttle warmed up. They had enough oxygen and power to stay here for more than an hour, and now they had to abandon it? Seething, she opened the file and quickly scanned the schematics. The pressure doors leading into the ship from the shuttle bay were near the bay's middle. They must have walked right past them in the darkness. She cursed, marked the position on her HUD, deactivated her magnetics, and rose from the chair. She had to get the squad moving. She had to get Elliot to a trauma station. And more importantly, she had to find a way to get off this fucking wreck.